What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is your boy Allan back with another great video for you guys. In the background I have the Silhouette Cameo 4 Black Edition with my Mac ready to spring into action, and I'm doing a custom design, and I am using my cutting mat on the Silhouette Cameo 4 because this is my last strip of pink vinyl, and I have some ordered in the mail right now. But don't worry, we're gonna play around with the Cameo 4 this week, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. And we're gonna play around with the proper settings so we can weed flawlessly and not use a cutting mat. We're gonna explore that, and we're gonna learn how to use that little cutter that they have in the background, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's get into this video. If it's your first time here, don't forget to hit the like button, smash the like button, destroy the like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Let's go. So guys, this is the screen of my computer. This is the design that we're going to be designing for the client. This is what they wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the whole thing so that I can size it to the size that I want it to be on the shirt. But before I do that, let's go ahead and get the shirt. Here it is right here. And we are going to lay it across our table like so. Take the labels off of our shirt, and we're going to use our ruler to go ahead and measure it out and see like what size we want it to be. We are using a 12 by 12 cutting mat, so we know that the design can't be bigger than 12. I can't get this thing. Can't be bigger than 12, and put that to the side for trash in a little while. So this design on this extra large shirt, I think would look good. It's gonna take up the whole full real estate. I think we're gonna go ahead and make it as big as we can, right up to the edge. So we'll go ahead and make it 11.5 inches of a design to take up the majority of this shirt right here. So let's go ahead and make it on the software 11.5 inches. So in the software, guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the edges. Like I said, I highlighted the entire thing, and I can now play with the aspect ratio, keeping the same proportion. So I'm just gonna, that number right at the bottom, I'm just gonna go ahead and make that 11.5. All right, so get that 11.5. All right, that's about right. And now it's 11.5. I can go ahead and press this button right here, and that's gonna bring it to the center. But it's in the center. I want it to be at the top in the center. So put it right here, and let me go ahead and play with the idea of possibly printing 2 on here. Can it fit? Can it fit? Can it fit? Wait, unselect, Command Z to undo that. And I'm gonna try to see if I can fit 2 on here. That would be awesome if I could. Right at the top, right there. Oh, my computer died? Are you serious right now? Ugh.
A-Dubb Productions.
All right, we back. You wanna know what the crazy part is, guys? Crazy part is, like, the computer, I just plugged this in and it turned right back on, so I'm 53%. Let me know in the comment section below if you're having problems with your Mac like this. If my Mac does this all the time. It won't be at 0%, but it'll just cut off like before it's completely dead. It's just so annoying. So yeah, this is the designs right here, and of course I want to make sure that everything is inside the lines, inside the areas where it's going to stitch out. But of course we want to highlight everything and flip horizontal, because we are of course pressing this up, and once again check and make sure everything is within the parameters. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Thank you. Inside of the square, move it over with the arrow key just a little bit, deselect, and boom, that's everything. We now know that we can put 2 of them on the machine. So let's get this thing ready. Let's press send over here, and everything is selected that is going to cut. Cameo unavailable. We don't have any wires connected to our machine here, so we're just gonna hit the Bluetooth button on the Cameo. So let me show you guys right here on the Cameo. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that. Just hit that Bluetooth button right here, and it starts to flash. Well, hit it one time, just one time, yeah. And now I go back to our computer, and now Checking the firmware, our computer automatically ready. It sensed the Cameo, it picked it up, and it's ready to cut. So size are easy read HTV setting. I have mine set on 3, force on 5, speed on 3 with 1 pass. I'm just going to go ahead and send it to the Cameo and hopefully it cuts out good. But first, of course, I got to load up the Cameo. Head over here, put it on the side, make sure the vinyl is flat on the cutting mat. Match it up on the side arrows right here. Boom, locked in, locked and loaded and ready. And then we're gonna go ahead and press this button right here. Cameo loaded, and now I can press send on our software, and let's cut this thing out. There's the Cameo doing its job. Like I said, man, this new Cameo cuts out so fast, it's crazy. If you haven't purchased your Cameo yet, your Cameo 4, use my link down in the description below. And guys, what I will tell you that I did this wrong, that I don't recommend you guys doing, is if you notice this wheel right here, it's actually on the vinyl. That's why I want to learn how to cut without the cutting mat. It's kind of on the vinyl and it's pushing the vinyl up a little bit. We don't want that, because what could potentially happen, which I don't think is going to happen, is the vinyl could like get pushed off of the mat, and that can make it not align right. So we don't want that. We want our vinyl to be exactly within the checker part, within the checker part area. You know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about? On the grid. We want our vinyl to be on the grid and not going over the grid, because that's what happens. The cutting mat, the wheels need to slide on the mat. It needs to roll on the mat. And when it has some vinyl on there, it like pushes it off of it. As you can see, it's like bunching up right here a little bit. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. But you want to avoid that. You don't want to do that. Okay. So cutting out very fast, looking like a good job right here. I'm gonna try to give this some support. Maybe no. Nah, I won't do that. But yeah, so far so good. Just gonna let it finish cutting and see how this thing came out. One more thing, guys. One thing that I think the makers over there at Silhouette America should have done was they should actually have like a countdown on the software, which they don't, that tells you how much time is left for your design to cut. I think that would be pretty useful. Especially for me as a filmmaker, like, because it can tell me when to start recording again and things like that. So yeah, Silhouette America, if you guys are listening, consider making that a feature in your Cameo. Have a timer on there so we can know, like, you know, how much time is left of the design cutting out. Even sometimes we might be in a rush. I think a timer would be useful on the software. It'll tell you how much more. And I know you can implement that. It's got to be a way. So right now, guys, what happened is the cutting wheel actually is rolling on the vinyl. Somehow it got underneath it. So that's good. It's not going to mess up the cut. It's not going to like push the vinyl over or anything like that. But, you know, this could even be a bad thing, because it could potentially, if your mat's not sticky enough, it could potentially start rolling the vinyl in different directions, messing up your cut still, you know what I mean? So you guys want to make sure that you cut off the access when you're doing this stuff. Really, really important to cut off the access. All right, so there's a Cameo 4. That's what it looks like when it's doing its thing. You guys can hear the noise. It's not that quiet, so don't expect to have a very, very quiet cutting machine, you know, because that's just not the reality of it. All right. And look what's happening. See what's happening right there? That's what happens when your mat is not that sticky. The end kind of like goes up a little bit, so I'm just keeping my finger here so it can go underneath and not get crunched up. Because I'm using every little section of this vinyl is getting used on this design. It doesn't hurt for me to keep my finger right here. I'm not pushing it down. I'm just like have my hand on it so it stays down. But when the thing comes all the way over here, I'm gonna have to move my hand. That might even mess up the design, but we'll see. See, it's coming farther and farther over. I might have to use something to keep it down, like a hook or something, or some scissors. Use something else to keep it down. Now it's just too far, I can't. Now it's on its own. On its own. Nothing I can do now. Nothing I can do. But this is the important part. What I want to see is how to feed the vinyl through now that the design is done. Let's see. Okay, the design is done. But if you notice, when I see people feed the vinyl through, they get an arrow on this side that lets them, you know, feed the vinyl through. I guess if you're not using a cutting mat, it gives you that option. I don't know, but I'll make another video and we're gonna test that out. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that video. But let's unload it and we'll see how this cut came out. Just press this button right here, the down arrow to unload. And it releases the vinyl. Okay, so we got everything on there. Given our lighting situation, you guys should be able to see this. You see the cut right there on camera. I'm not sure how good you guys can see it, but let's just peel it off. Maybe you guys can see it better. So you want it to be able to peel and not get stuck to the cutting mat. That's a good cut, all right? But the most important part of the cut is you want it to be able to weed without getting stuck to the mat. So let me go get my weeding tool, which is right here. And let me go get my mat so we can weed this design and see how good it weeds. So I got my mat here placed at the bottom, and I got my weeding tool right here in my hand. So I'm just gonna start weeding this, guys, from the corner. Of course, I could cut this and save this part right here, but I'm just gonna weed it and see how good it weeds. See if any of the lettering comes up. I'm just gonna weed it just regular so I can see how good of a weed we got right here, how good the settings are. And for the sake of the video, for the sake of learning, for the sake of you guys, I'm not gonna take my time and do this. I'm just gonna do it. Because if you can weed this easily, then you know that you got a good cut, all right? This is the time-consuming part. So if you guys are looking to get into this business of making shirts and stuff like that, this part right here, weeding stuff, especially if it's an intricate design, like a few parts of this might be a little bit intricate, then this is the hard part right here, okay? So the crown is weeding pretty good, given the circumstances of these small little parts right here. Has some small intricate parts of it, but this is the part that tends to take the most time weeding, you know? Especially if you got somebody that's ordering like 10 shirts or something like that, or even 20 shirts, or don't forget about 100 shirts and stuff like that. Forget about it. It's going to take you a long time because you got to weed each individual design and separate all the little parts that's not cutting out, and that is the time-consuming part. Nothing beats having your own business, but when you got to do stuff like this, guys, you got to charge them for it, and they got to understand, man, because this stuff takes time is money. Actually, time is not money, to be honest with you. Time is more valuable than money, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's like it takes a long time, so you guys got to charge them for it. And some people might not be willing to pay what you have to charge because it takes a long time if you're doing a whole batch of shirts to weed all those shirts, you know, so you got to consider that. Also, what you might want to consider is you might want to consider using a different method to make your shirts, because doing it this way might not be time effective, you know. So let's see, am I missing something here? I don't think so. Don't think so. So I'm just being careful. I said I wasn't going to be careful, but I'm being careful because, you know, I just don't want it to all it. You know, I want to make sure I get a good weed, but at the same time, I don't want to mess it up. So as you guys can see, it's not weeding bad at all. It's weeding pretty good. So the cut settings, I think, are good for this one. Again, like, you can use the same settings that you have from the Cameo 4, from the Cameo 3, but the machines are different. The machines are a little different. So, and again, you're working with a new blade. I mean, not again, because it's the first time I mentioned it. You're working with a new blade. So those are just things that you want to consider. Your Cameo 4, as the blade starts to wear, I mean your Cameo 3, my Cameo 3 in my instance, as my blade started to wear, you have to adjust your cut settings because you want to cut a little bit deeper if you don't want to buy a new blade right away. So things like that you want to consider when you are working with your new machine, with your brand new Cameo 4 like I am. And we're almost done weeding this part because there's also other parts of the design that has to be weeded out too. All right, so we're done this. And as you guys can see, here's some of the design right here. We got to go ahead and weed the inside of this, inside of that, the intricate parts of that, the intricate parts of that. And let's do that right now. It's time to get up close and personal. Little inside parts of the E. Set that to the side right here. Or I can just put it right here on the vinyl. Cut that part off. Just stick it on there. The parts that you're taking off, just stick it on there. To have somewhere to put it to the side. This. Come over here. Put the inside of here. Stick that right there. Inside of here. Alright. Whatever it takes, guys. Weed that sucker out. Inside this bowl right here. Weed that out. Nice and good, like. Only gonna weed one with you guys, and you on your own. Now you gotta be careful when you're looking at this stuff, because you gotta make sure you don't weed the wrong thing, because then you done messed up your whole design. All right. Inside this crown now. This comes with experience. Knowing what to weed comes with experience, but this Cameo does have a feature where you can use a certain type of blade and it'll punch a hole in the areas that you have to weed. We will explore that too, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that tool and put it in my Cameo so that I can show you guys how that specific feature works. All right, because I think it's very useful, especially for those of you who are just starting out. It's going to be a very, very useful feature, because I know when starting out, it could be hard determining what you have to weed versus what you don't have to weed. It just comes with experience, and you automatically know it. If it's an intricate design you can't figure it out, you will figure it out eventually. So for example, you weed from the outside in. So say for example, I knew that this whole outside part had to come off, and now the next part, I'm keeping this right here, so the next part going in has to be weeded. All right, so that's one way that you could tell real easily. All right, so boom, there's the cue, and we weeded that out. Boom. Right, same thing with this one. All right, so I'm just going to again weed this out, and I'm going to show you guys after it's done. Okay, everybody, we have this thing all weeded out, and one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this little part that has all this excess vinyl stuck on it. Take that off right there. One thing I miss that the Cameo 3 had that this 4 doesn't, that I instantly noticed, I know why they did it, but one thing you miss very, very quickly, I don't know about how many of you guys, and it can't even fit, I don't know about how many of you guys used to use your little drawer. You know the little drawer that we had at the bottom right here to keep our tools? I mean, can this double up as a tool holder? I mean, I guess it can. You can, okay, well, there's a solution right there. You can hold your tools right here. I was gonna say I miss my little drawer as a tool holder, but you know, you can, everything can fit right here. Interesting. All right, so scratch that. I was gonna say that I miss having my little drawer, but this is a drawer also. Like, you can use this as the same thing. So, hey, that alone, I gotta make a whole separate video on that. Be mindful, you might see a video on that right there. So anyway, here's our design. This is it mirrored right backwards, and when you turn it around, which is how we're gonna lay it on the shirt, this is the design right here. Okay, so it says Queens in Investments. All right, that's what the client wanted on the shirt. That's what the client gets on the shirt. So boom, lay it down that way. get my cutting tool out in my handy dandy drawer slash vinyl roller. It's a drawer and a vinyl roller. Look at that. They should have put like little notches so that these things can actually snap in place. That would have been dope. But they didn't intend for it to be a drawer. But guess what? We just made it a drawer because we missed our drawer. We liked our drawer, so we just made it a drawer. All right. So you want to make sure. Another thing you want to make sure, guys, is the edges. Sometimes vinyl can get stuck on the edges, and if you're not really careful, you will press on some vinyl that's not meant to be on the design on your shirt, and that would suck. So what I do sometimes is I just cut off the edge if I can't see if a piece of vinyl might be on there, and sometimes I cut off the access right here. You could do that, you know. But sometimes if you have a straight line at the top, that can help you line up your design when you're pressing it. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this stuff off right here. Cut off the little excess. And sometimes I use, if I have like a lot of vinyl because I did a lot of weeding, I'll like go ahead and take the sticky part and I'll like pick up, you know what I mean? Pick up the vinyl, the excess little small pieces of vinyl to keep my workspace area clean and neat of all the little small excess, because again, that could get stuck on a shirt or something like that. And when it gets stuck on a piece of your design, or like a little piece might be stuck here or something like that, and you don't see it with your eyes, then you press it on a shirt, white shirt or something like that, and then you go to pull it back and peel it. Ugh, crushing. Can't get it off in most cases, so you just ruined your whole design. But here's our 2 right here. We got to make 4 more, but again, the vinyl is going to be in tomorrow, so I'll finish that tomorrow. So let's wrap this up. I can go ahead and close my computer down because we're done with that. I can go ahead and put this away because we're done with that. And we're going to go ahead and get our heat press, guys. Let me put away our thing in our handy dandy drawer slash vinyl roller. All right. So put away our needle. And one thing you want to always remember on our cutting mat, this cutting mat is almost done, but we want to go ahead and put our thing back on our cutting mat. All right, this with the reflective shiny side down on the mat. So line it up over here at the edge. Let me show you guys. Line it up over here at the edge and just place it back onto the mat so the sticky part stays sticky and it doesn't get any debris doesn't get any debris on it. You don't want to get any debris on there. For those that don't know, I'm saying debris like that because that's how you spell it. I often do that sometimes. Sorry if you didn't get it. Yeah, so put that on there like so, and make sure it's perfectly lined up like I just did with no hands on them. Boom. All right, so we've preserved that. Set that off to the side, and let's go get our heat press. Plug it up, heat it up. You know what I need, guys? Because these heat presses are so heavy. I need a heat press table roller. That would be very, very handy dandy because these things are not light at all. All right, y'all, we got our heat press plugged in. Now you turn it on and let it heat up. See the temperature gauge on here. As it starts to heat up, you can feel a plate getting hot. Now's the time where you can touch it because it's not that hot, but you don't want to touch it when it gets hot. I think mine heats up to about 360. Fun fact, guys, I press my vinyl no matter what material I'm pressing. I always use the same temperature. I never change the temperature on my heat vinyl, on my heat press, which is interesting because different vinyls and stuff like that are supposed to be pressed at different temperatures, but I keep my heat press on the same temperature all the time, which is very interesting. All right, so right now I'm gonna change the amount of time. I'm gonna change it to 15 seconds. You just change the seconds right here. Wait till it stops flashing. Wait till it stops flashing. And then release. Now the timer is changed. This is a very, very old heat press. Need to invest in a new one, but I haven't done so yet. So let me let this thing heat up and I'll be right back.
A-Dubb Productions.
Now that our heat press is all heated up, 330, 329. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this tag off right here, pop the tag on them, and I'm gonna show you some for the new heat pressers, right? Just a little technique that I like to use if you don't want to measure everything and have everything, you know what I mean? Like if you just want to eyeball it and press your shirt. So one thing I do, okay, first thing you do is put your shirt on your heat press, press it for a couple seconds just to get the wrinkles out, just to get the air out, I mean the moisture out. That's good enough. And what you do is you go ahead and fold your shirt in half. This helps you find the center point of your shirt. Fold your shirt exactly in half. Fold it perfectly, as perfect as possible. You want this part to be perfect, all right? Fold it in half. Go ahead and lay it on your heat press. And go ahead and crush the half. We're crushing the half. We're gonna call this crush the half. We're crushing the half so that we can find the center point. Now now what that did is it created a crease in the middle of the shirt, right? So we go ahead and lay that shirt down now. Lay that shirt down now. We see our crease. That's our center point, all right? So typically on shirts, right, you want your design to be one hand length down from the neck. All right, so we put in our crease in the center. I'm gonna go ahead and get on my knees for this. Go ahead and put, what I do is the neckline, I make sure the neckline just drops down, all right? So my neckline just drops down behind the heat press. I can still see where it is, but it's dropped down below. And I'm raising my shirt up like this so that I can see visually that we're in the center, all right? So we're in the center. This is our center point right here. We got a good gauge. Now we grab our design and we put it in the center and we line it up. I eyeball it, line it up, right? Make sure it's straight. Make sure it's one hand length down. This is about the center of the shirt right here. Boom. All right, it's nice and straight, level. Boom, once again, check that right there. Hold on, I'm not gonna stop our video. Forces of evil. And then I'm going to go ahead and press it. I'm standing up now, I'm looking at the design, making sure it's in the center once again. I want to make sure the letters, everything is just lined up on point and correctly. All right, boom, right there in the center. Straight. You know, can't be messing up people's stuff here. All right, nice and straight. Got that good. All right, and then you go ahead and press it. Press it down. Notice I didn't put down any Teflon sheet. 15 seconds. Let that time run down. You know, let the time run down, and then once the time is up, go ahead and this is hot, right? So what I do, I just grab the shirt like this, put it on, raise it up. Go ahead, and now we can peel our thing off, just like so. Peel it off nice and easy. You don't have to go hard. See when it's popping like that? See the letters popping? That means it's good enough. But you see some edges right there that's not quite down. So I could have pressed this for a couple more seconds, guys. That's all that means. Could have pressed this for a little more seconds. Now when it gets to that intricate crown, I take my time and just let it make sure everything is peeled off nice and good. So we got a nice design over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my Teflon sheet because I'm going to lay it over top of the design. Look at the lettering. Look at everything. Get a good look at that. Let me focus a little bit better. And it's flat, but like right around here, you see like the edge of this end right here is up a little bit. So this is why I always like to press like 2 times. So now you can't press right on here because it's going to come off. This is like kind of a video for beginners also. So you're going to have to put the Teflon sheet over top of it, and you go ahead and give it its final press. And this press right here is supposed to stay on longer or for the same amount of time, so you can like make sure the design is embedded down into the garment. You know what I mean? Got a little dust on our heat press there, a little dusty was in the back room, but it's all good. That's gonna happen. So now that is our final press. Sometimes you might even want to leave it on just a little bit longer, like a couple more seconds, right? Like I'm doing right now. Then we raise it up and everything should be like pressed deep in. Another thing you can do is you can twist your knob at the top if you got this type of heat press machine to apply a little bit more pressure. The knob right up here. All right, so that should be good enough. Don't want to burn the shirt. Raise that up and peel that off. And everything is flat and embedded into the shirt. Let's take another close up of that so you can see the difference now. See the difference? See the difference? Everything is flat, and you could actually look at the text and you can see the pores or the material, the pores of the shirt. You know what I mean? You can see them. So that's a good press, and that's how you can get a good press. You could even press it again if you wanted to, but not necessary. No necesito. Boom, boom, right there. See that? See the neckline? Focus a little bit. See the neckline right there. How that came out. Nice. Nice and good. Just like that. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Silhouette Cameo 4/heat press video where I went through a whole process of pressing a shirt for you guys. Just repeat that process in the software. You can create any type of designs that you choose to or that your talents allow you to. And you can decorate garments and start making money from home, guys. It's your boy, man. I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Use my Amazon link down in the description below if you want to purchase your Silhouette Cameo 4, your heat press, or any of the materials that I talk about on my channel, guys. Don't forget to visit the merch store at AllanAway.com. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Instagram.com/adubbproductions, guys. If you want some back-end exclusive stuff, guys, make sure you guys stay tuned. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. It's your boy, and I'm out.
Turn up that, crank it up. Why listen to the rest when you're rocking with the best, baby? This right here, this right here, this right here.